Hello everyone, in this video I have for you guys 6 free IELTS practice tests that you guys can take while you're preparing for the examination. So all of these tests are free. Some of them are there are 6 different sources. So some of them have just one test, some of them have 2 or 3 tests, some of them have multiple different tests. One thing I should tell you guys is that some of these are just PDF based tests. They're just questions are there written for you. You just have to answer them, write the answers down and stuff, and then check the answers later. But some of them are UI based. So UI based means you actually click the answer option and then check if it's right later and all that. So what I recommend that you guys do is you take the PDF ones, the basic ones at first, and then closer to your exam day you take the UI based ones so that you have a more accurate feel of what the exam is going to be like, right? Another thing that I need to tell you is that none of these are going to be scored by the institution itself, right? So what that means is for your writing score and for your speaking score, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to evaluate you. Okay, so in terms of speaking and writing, I think that's probably going to be covered in paid tests. I'll probably make another video for that if you guys want it. But for this, it's just going to be a bunch of free tests that you guys can check out. What I recommend that you do is you maybe have a study partner or someone who's taking the IELTS with you to help you score the test, give you some feedback and all that. So without further ado, let's get to the 6 best free IELTS practice tests online. Okay, so we're going to start with 3 official sources and then we're going to go to 3 unofficial sources. Okay, so first official source is the britishcouncil.org IELTS practice test. So you guys can see that, again, links to all of these will be in the description, don't worry. So you guys can see that they have a bunch of practice tests, so you just have to, they always split IELTS practice tests into 4 different sections, right? So you have to click on whichever ones you need. So if you're, for example, if you're really strong in listening, maybe you don't want to do listening practice tests, then you don't have to, right? So it's just how it works. So for example, if you click on listening practice test, they will have 2 tests. So generally they have 2 tests for each section. You just have to click on, whichever part you're interested in, and they will have the audio you have to listen to, and then you have to write down all these questions and stuff. So this is not a UI based test. So that means that, you don't have to type in your answer here. You have to write them down in your notebook. And then at the very end, there'll be answer sheets here. Just click on the answer sheet and, you can move on. Then you move on to part 2 and then you'll get the, attempt part 2 and so on. So it's a very, very straightforward type of test. So this is the first type of test that we have. And the second one is this one. So this is idpielts.me. So this is an official source of practice tests. But I don't recommend this test because it's extremely confusing, right? The way they've structured this is super annoying. For example, let's click on, say, reading, right? So let's hit reading. And here we have, okay, so it's practice test, reading, you scroll down and there are all these sample tasks, right? But then the thing is there are so many random tasks and then you don't know which one you're supposed to do first. And, contrary to what you might expect, some of them have say for example, these have, tasks and answers and so on, right? But then towards the top, they don't have tasks and answers, just as matching features and table completion. So where are you supposed to begin? And it's just extremely confusing. I don't recommend this one unless you guys really, really need those official practice tests. And then it's going to be a challenge for you to even figure out how to take this test itself, okay? So this one, I would say last on this list. Next up, we have IELTS.org. This is also an official IELTS place because again, it's sponsored by all these guys. So this is pretty much a little bit more straightforward. You click on listening and then you click on whichever test you want. And then you click on reading and there's one, I think there's only one test in this one. Sorry, in this website, there's only one test. So again, you click on the reading test PDF. And again, not UI based, you'll have to write down the answers in your notebook. And they'll give you the passage, you got to answer the questions, more passage, more questions, basic stuff, right? And they have it for writing, academic. Make sure you guys are doing academic, right? If you're applying to college, it's academic, and speaking and all that. And they have the answer options as well. Sorry, for example, if you do reading, they have the answer key as well. So you just have to check if you're getting all the questions right. Okay, so that's the third source. Now, before I move on to number 4, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel because we have a ton of graduate program related information coming out every single week. Okay, so make sure you're subscribed. Now we move on to unofficial sources. So this is the first unofficial source. This is our 4th test source overall. This is a pretty decent source, but the only annoying thing is they have different numbers of listening and reading and tests. For example, if I scroll down and click on listening practice tests, right? So they have 4 listening practice tests. 5th one, I think it's incomplete. So they have 4 listening practice tests. And if I go down to writing, they have, again, 6 writing tests. And if I go down to reading, it says, you want to do 3 passages. So they're saying, each one given below is 1 reading passage, so doing 3 of them will be full reading tests. And they have 6 reading passages, so that means they have 2 reading tests. So that's a little confusing. It can be a little bit annoying. So again, this is something, again, if you want more tests, you can figure it out and do it by yourself. All right. And now we have the Magoosh test. So Magoosh, as you guys probably know, is a pretty famous name in, you know, like GRE prep and IELTS and all that. So they have a free IELTS practice test PDF on their website. I recommend that you guys maybe start from here. It's up to you, but I would recommend that you start from here because it's pretty simple. Like it's just one PDF that tell you exactly what you need to do. And then, you know, like what you to expect, what you'll need, you know, a pencil, timer. So none of the other stuff, you know, none of the other web pages tell you that. They give you some tips and then you get started on your test. You do the entire test, you know, there's like, for example, audio and stuff you got to listen to, and then scroll all the way down and then they'll have the button for where you guys can go check the answer explanation. So this is also not UI based. It is, you know, pen and paper, you have to write it down. Okay. But this is, again, I would recommend maybe you guys start with this one. It's pretty simple. And the last source is this one. So this is IELTSonlinetest.com. This is, again, unofficial. But what I like about this is, first of all, they have so many tests. Like, for example, you make sure you click on academic, okay? So you click on January, and then you'll see that they have 2 tests in January. And then I go back, and if I hit February, they're going to have even 2 more tests in February, right? And they'll just have so many tests here. So if you guys come here, you know, this is going to be like so many tests for you guys. I don't think you'll need any more tests besides that. Maybe some paid ones to check your speaking and writing and all that. But anyway, what's cool about these guys is that if you actually hit January and, you know, if you go to like one of the tests, for example, if I go to say the reading test, all right? You can see that it takes me to a UI based test. So they have the, you know, passage on the left, and then, you know, the combo boxes where you to click down and, you know, click the right answer and all that on the right. So it's UI based, there's a timer and stuff. So that's pretty cool, right? Only thing is you have to log in to take the test, so I guess you just gotta log in, right? And that's it for the 6 free IELTS tests. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want me to make like a similar video on the paid IELTS test, or if you want me to do the same for TOEFL, let me know in the comments. If you guys have actually tried some of these, if you think it's good or not so good, again, just let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know what you guys think about all this. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.